Welcome to Beautifully Consumed. I'm Chelsea Lee, owner of Chelsea Lee Jewelry and your host. I'm just a girl that decided to go for it, and now I'm a successful business owner. But there's more to life than business, and that's why I found myself on a mission to love and become my most true self. I'm so excited to have this podcast as a space where we can do that together. You're in the right place if you're ready to be wildly dedicated to finding your purpose, becoming your most true self, and learning what it means to be beautifully consumed by living a life that is undeniably yours. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Beautifully Consumed. I am your host, Chelsea Lee. Thank you so much for being here today. I just want to give a huge shout out to all of you who have listened so far, and especially to those of you who have reached out to me and said kind words about the podcast or told me how it's impacted your day or your life or your mindset. It really just means the world to me to hear that my words have made an impact on you. So thank you so much. I'm so glad to have you here. So in case you may have noticed, I actually missed uploading an episode last week. Now, if you know me, you know I am a perfectionist to a fault, and that really killed me on the inside not to get that episode uploaded last week. And it really just kind of made me take a step back and think about everything I've got going on and why I didn't get that episode done. It was hard for me to not feel like a failure in not uploading that episode. So I want to say I'm sorry for missing an episode last week, but I also want to sit here and tell you and be real with you and tell you I'm just a real person sitting here trying to do my best. So today's episode, it's not really going to be a full episode. I just want to give you like an update, tell you what's going on, give you some announcements, and maybe leave you with a little word of encouragement as well. So in case you aren't sure, this podcast is something that I started for fun on the side. It is not making me a single dollar. It is actually costing me money to edit and, get the podcast recorded and uploaded and all that kind of stuff. It actually costs money for me to do this. So I am spending money and not making money on the podcast, which is totally okay. I knew that would be the case when I started this. So nothing I'm going to say, I do not want this to come off as complaining at all. Just trying to give you a peek behind the curtain and be real with y'all and let you know what actually goes on behind the scenes. So this podcast costs money for me to record and host on a hosting platform and all of that good stuff. And would I love for this to eventually grow to the point where it could make me some more money? Absolutely. That is definitely a goal, to continue to grow the podcast, have it reach more people, have it open up new doors and new opportunities for me, and ultimately have it be another stream of income. But for right now, that's not the case. And I'm totally cool with that. I am just having fun, learning a new skill, doing something different, doing something outside of my comfort zone. But what is making me money right now and paying my bills, to be frank, is my full-time job, which is running my jewelry business, Chelsea Lee Jewelry. And I have to kind of just sit here and be real with myself about, okay, this podcast is a great ambition. It's a great goal to strive for. It's something that I enjoy doing in my free time. But at this point in time, I don't have a lot of free time. And my jewelry business is actually really picking up. Last year in 2023, that was probably one of the worst years when you look back and compare it to my previous sales during the year. 2023 was just a really rough year for small businesses in general. I saw lots of small businesses close their doors for good. almost all of my friends in business, I talked to them and we were all kind of going through the same stuff, like struggling to make sales. And I know that everybody was feeling it, like not just small business owners. The cost of everything is going up. Gas, groceries. I don't need to sit here and get into all of that with you. But just to be real with y'all, like last year was kind of a struggle for making sales in my business. And I was a little worried that would be the case again for 2024. However, things have really started to pick up, and they have started to pick up very rapidly, which I am so grateful for and so excited about. But I did not really see that huge uptick in sales coming. So good problem to have for me, for sure. But I have just found myself being very busy with making jewelry and running that jewelry business. And again, like I said, that is how I'm paying my bills. But I just had to be real with myself last week and say, you know what? Like, I would really love to get this episode uploaded and edited and uploaded and all of that, but I just do not have the time. Like, I have to be putting my time where I am getting the money to pay my bills. And the podcast just took a seat on the back burner last week. And I apologize for not getting that up and uploaded, but it actually allowed me to kind of just take a step back and reevaluate my priorities and take a look at everything I have going on and just sort of have to face myself with a few things. So that leads me to giving you a little announcement. Now, this is really difficult for me to put out here so publicly like this, but I think I have come to the conclusion that I need to take a small break from the podcast. I'm talking like a couple of weeks, maybe a month tops. I have quite a handful of interviews and conversations and topics lined up to talk about. I just don't have any of them recorded. And like I said, it takes a lot of time to get them recorded, to upload, edit, all of that kind of stuff. And I just don't have that time to put towards the podcast at this very moment. And taking the week off last week from uploading something, yes, at first I felt like a failure. Like, I will sit here and tell you that. I still feel that a little bit, even sitting here telling you what I'm telling you right now, because at the beginning of the year, I was so jazzed and excited about, I'm going to upload an episode every week, no matter what. I'm going to do the hard thing. Like, you know, I'm going to make it. So many people say they're going to do it and then they don't. And now I'm one of those people. And it's really, like I said, it's hard for me to sit here and openly admit that so publicly, but I had some time to think about it. And you know what? I think it's okay to take a break and to say, hey, this is something I still want. This is something I don't want to give up on, but my priorities just look a little bit different right now. And I'm going to just press pause. And that is really hard for me to do as someone who's a go-getter, a perfectionist. I'm very competitive. I, in a sense, care what others think of me in terms of like, you know, me saying I'm going to do something and then doing it and following through with that. So it's hard for me to not do that. But I want to just normalize this, what I'm going through, because I know that some of you listening can relate to this, and not everybody listening runs a jewelry business and a podcast, but what can this be applied to in your life? You know, I think we are so go, 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 especially in this day and age when we have all of this access to technology and we have access to all these people and we're constantly being invited to this or that. And how can we be better and how can we do this and what can I do better today? And I've got to do more and I've got to do more. Sometimes it's not about doing more or going harder. Sometimes it's about doing less and taking time to move slower and shift your priorities. And I think we need to normalize that. And maybe you guys already have this concept nailed down, and maybe I'm just talking to myself here, but this is something I need to work on myself. So I'm kind of just trying to give myself a pep talk here. So yeah, I am going to be taking a small break from the podcast, and I am going to work on batching up some more episodes during this break. So that way, when I come back, I will have a bunch of episodes ready to go and post right in a row. And you know what? Maybe that's a workflow that will work best for me, like doing a batch of episodes, taking a small break for a couple of weeks, doing another batch of episodes. I know a lot of podcasts do seasons or do their episodes in batches. Maybe it will be something like I decide to go to every other week instead of every week. I'm not really sure. And I'm going to take some time to figure that out. But like I said, I'm not going away. I'm just taking a small break and a small step back because my true passion, my true love is making jewelry. And that is also what is paying my bills. And that is going so well. And I'm just so excited about that. Like I had to really shift my thinking from being disappointed about taking a break from the podcast to actually just shifting more of my attention and my energy to the thing that I really love. And that is making jewelry. And like I said, last year just wasn't really the best year for me. And I was feeling kind of defeated and like, oh my gosh, do people not like my jewelry anymore? Why aren't people shopping with me? And I was having a lot of like doubts and imposter syndrome, and seeing the uptick in sales and seeing people start following me again and people start loving my stuff, it has rejuvenated me in a way that I didn't know I wasn't being rejuvenated. And so I'm actually really excited to take this break from the podcast because that means I get to go all in on the thing that I love, making jewelry, connecting with my customers there, making money so I can pay my bills and, reaching new heights and new goals for my jewelry business. So instead of being disappointed about being a failure or not doing what I said I was going to do as far as uploading podcast episodes every single week, instead of being upset or sad or disappointed about that, I am so excited to take a break so I can focus on my jewelry journey. So I hope that you can feel that too. And just know, like I said, I'm not going anywhere, just a small break. I will certainly keep you updated on when the next batch of episodes is going to come out. Like I said, I'm thinking about a month or so, just a few weeks for me to get some more episodes recorded. And this will give me time to really record the episodes I want to record instead of just recording something just for the sake of getting it uploaded. I think it's much more important for me to deliver quality content to you instead of just getting something done and uploaded and just for the sake of doing it. So I actually have like 4 interviews lined up with people that I think y'all will really, really love hearing from. I'm personally really excited to talk to them and get to know them a little bit better in the form of a podcast interview. I also have some really great ideas for episodes coming up, and I'm so excited to actually, have the time to record those in the way that I want to record them and just share what's on my heart with you. So thank you for listening to me ramble today. I hope that me kind of being real with you lets you just see that I'm a real person too. I feel like a lot of people see me and the success I've had and just assume that I'm perfect and I have it all together and I know what I'm doing and I don't ever have bad days or have like doubts or anything like that. But that is so far from the truth. Even the most successful people in the entire world have bad days and struggle with different things. And so I feel it's important for me to open up and share about that kind of stuff and let you know that, hey, I'm a little overwhelmed right now and I want to shift my priorities for the moment. And instead of feeling like a failure, I am choosing to be excited about the opportunity to focus on something that is bringing me joy right now and bringing me prosperity and bringing me excitement and fulfillment. So I hope that you can take my little story or my experience and use it to feel better about something maybe you've been struggling with, and just remind yourself it is okay and it's actually extremely necessary to take breaks. And I think it's really important to take a step back and reevaluate your priorities. We don't do that nearly as often as we should. Like, I think we should be reevaluating our priorities multiple times throughout the year, not just at New Year's. Like, you should be doing this on a very regular basis. What's bringing me joy? What's making me money? What is making me feel good? What's bringing me health? And all of these different things. It's important to take a step back and reevaluate and pivot. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Again, I may just be having to convince myself right now by saying this over and over again. You might be like, yeah, duh, Chelsea, but this is something that I am trying to work on myself. So I'm trying to use these in my affirmations. So also, side note, I'm really glad y'all love the affirmations episode. That is something I'm excited to continue as well. I already have 4 affirmations episodes that I have all the affirmations written out. I just have to record them and edit them and stuff. But I am super excited about those. And I encourage you, while I take this little break, to go back and listen to that affirmations episode. That's a really good one to play on repeat. One more place where you can listen to me while I'm on this break is I was recently on another podcast with a friend of mine in the jewelry making space. Her name is Corkie Bolton, and she runs Corkie Bolton Jewelry, and she also is in charge of Metalsmith Society. So if you're a jeweler, you probably know who Corkie is. And she recently just interviewed me on her podcast, and we talked about Instagram live sales with jewelry. So if you're interested in listening to that episode while I'm on this little break, definitely go check it out. I will leave the link to that below in the show notes. Thank you so much for hearing me ramble a little bit today. I hope you're able to relate to some of the things I said. I am ready to come back from this break refreshed, rejuvenated, and with some amazing episodes for y'all. So thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next episode in about a month or so, and I can't wait to talk to you then. All right, see you next time.